So Paul says,
it's personal now! It's personal now! He must die!
whoa, another 5-hour energy, please. Live boxing takes center stage tonight on Netflix. Sports action, the Rangers, Islanders, Devils all won. Eagles beat the Commanders on Thursday Night Football. AccuWeather, sunny, high around 58. Winds news time, 7:41. Traffic and transit back out to Karen Stewart.
Coming down to the Bronx line, the northbound Springbrook Parkway north of Tuckahoe Road in Yonkers has been a crash. We've got one lane blocked there. This is going north of the Bronx line, actually. The New York State Thruway is your alternate. The southbound New York State Thruway doesn't make a good alternate to anything. It's very, very busy from Cross County all the way down to the 230s, and the southbound Bronx River Parkway is jammed coming from Cross County and moving into the Bronx line there, where we've got an accident blocking a lane there as well. As we take a check of what we see on Long Island's Big Three, the Northern State crash westbound to the LIE is gone. The westbound to LIE delays to the Queens line of the Cross Island are starting back at New Hyde Park Road. And the Southern State continues to be a slow ride between the Bethpage Parkway and the Seaford Oyster Bay Expressway. Let's go to Jersey. Over on Route 78 westbound, the local lines at 56 in Newark. We've got a left lane crash in the process getting cleared away. We're also looking at the Hudson River crossings. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. 35 in at the Holland, Lincoln, and the GW Bridge. The Holland might even be 40 minutes. And mass transit, we've got no J&M service between Brooklyn and Manhattan. Our next report's in less than 10. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Well, just when we thought we were out, they pulled us back in. Congestion pricing. It's a thing again. And the possible start date, we're looking at January 5th. Happy New Year, everybody. Glenn Schuck's been in Midtown this morning, says there's lots of opposition, including the president-elect.
Donald Trump doesn't talk about trying to kill the new tolling plan in his written statement, but the president-elect calls it a tax that he strongly disagrees with. How fast is this going to move? Well, the MTA is already gathering their board Monday to vote. Chairman General Lieber says it's not about the money, it's about congestion.
Are we going to allow New York City people to get ambulances that can get to hospitals? That's it. What's at stake here. Cop cars can get to crimes in progress. The basics. That is what solving the congestion pricing issue means to New York.
There are still at least 9 lawsuits on the table to try to stop all this, including one from Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. He says the $9 toll is a way to take money from the pockets of New Jersey residents to bail out the MTA from what he calls a mountain of debt. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Winds, 92.3 FM in Midtown.
Winds News Time, 7:44. Early this morning, a 35-year-old man got into an argument with a woman on a subway platform in Inwood. Now, the woman, police say, was with 2 other guys. One of those men pulled out a knife and slashed a 35-year-old across the hand. He's been hospitalized in stable condition. The woman, her buddies, took off. Police now looking for that trio. Longtime firefighters in the area saying this is like nothing they've ever experienced. Autumn wildfires raging across northern New Jersey. Now, crews just across the Jersey border in Greenwood Lake, New York, are working around the clock to contain the flames with no rain in sight.
Teams here are clearing paths, creating fire breaks, and looking for hot spots. This smoldering hillside, this is what they're trying to prevent from jumping down the hill, tearing toward those homes that are in the fire's path. In front of those homes, hoses provided an extra layer of protection. None have burned so far, but all remain vulnerable as New Jersey faces its driest conditions in nearly a century.
That's correspondent Tom Hansen. Fire officials say that the Jennings Creek Sterling Forest wildfire is now 75% contained. And once again, there's a high fire threat on the tri-state today and tomorrow due to a combo of dry brush, gusty winds, and low humidity. A 14-year-old boy at a Yonkers high school was arrested yesterday after allegedly stabbing another student. Police say the boy brought a knife to the Gorton High School, got into an argument with a 17-year-old boy. They started to fight, and then the 14-year-old stabbed the victim several times with his knife. The 17-year-old was taken to the hospital in stable condition. The school was placed on lockdown for just a little bit. The 14-year-old suspect has been hit with several assault charges. Winds News Time, 7:46. The Onion is a satirical online site. It is now the owner of Alex Jones' InfoWars media empire. InfoWars was auctioned off as part of Jones' bankruptcy proceedings and his defamation suit with the victims' families of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. Alex Jones kicking and screaming on his show.
The Connecticut Democrats with the Onion newspaper bought us. they asked, did they outbid? They said, well, it was competitive. So they changed all the bidding rules, made it secret 2 days ago. I had a bad feeling I told you that.
Ben Collins is the CEO of the Onion's parent company, Global Tetrahedron. He was asked on ABC's Start Here podcast why they decided to take over InfoWars.
Because it would be very funny. I think we all agree this is really funny. How do you agree this is really funny? I think this is the funniest thing in the world.
John Feinblatt is the president of Everytown for Gun Safety. He tells Start Here they're all for the satirical site taking down InfoWars.
The Onion has been really highlighting the crisis of gun violence in America, and obviously that's what we've been doing, and we thought that there was perfect synergy here.
Robbie Parker, whose daughter Emily was killed in the 2012 shooting in Connecticut, says the dissolution of Alex Jones's assets and the death of InfoWars is the justice we have long awaited and fought for, but not so fast on the auction results. Judge Christopher Lopez in Houston said he had concerns about how the auction went and ordered a hearing for next week. Big gala last night at Mar-a-Lago. President-elect Trump praising Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who he nominated to be the next Secretary of Health and Human Services.
We want you to come up with things and ideas and what you've been talking about for a long time, and I think you're going to do some unbelievable thing. Nobody's going to be able to do it like you.
So what might an RFK Jr. federal health department mean for cities and states in our area? Well, public health officials say not really all that much.
Any decisions about immunizations, something RFK Jr. has talked a lot about, would come at the state level.
The country has a very strong history of state control of health policy.
At a post-election news conference, Dr. Mitch Katz, who runs health in hospitals, said even what the CDC puts out is advisory. Kennedy also wants to remove fluoride from all U.S. water. He says it's associated with several health issues. Mayor Adams says,
we would turn that over, number one, to the state health department and the city department of health and mental hygiene. They're the experts on this. I will lean towards them.
The federal health department oversees drug, vaccine, and food safety. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Well, it's the case of the View host versus the Staten Island Bakery. In one corner, we've got Whoopi Goldberg, who says the beloved Holterman's Bakery refused to serve her desserts due to Whoopi's political views. In this corner, Jill Bowers-Holterman, the owner of the bakery that's been serving Staten Islanders for over 145 years. Holterman says they've had an ongoing issue with their boiler in the bakery, and that initially prevented them from fulfilling Whoopi's order. Staten Island President Vito Fossella defending the historic bakery.
It's an old infrastructure. The boilers were out. They didn't want to commit to an order they couldn't be so sure to fill. So they didn't take the order. They did the right thing because they have a reputation to uphold. And all of a sudden it becomes, well, they didn't like my politics. I think it's insane.
Fossella planning a press conference at the bakery today to show support for Holterman's. Now, Whoopi and her co-host did enjoy her birthday desserts, which did come from Holterman's. But Whoopi wouldn't even mention them by name since her initial order was declined. Whoopi, Whoopi, Whoopi. When's news time? 7:50. Get you back to the roads in 1 minute.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best.